A reminder, as well as the nicotine cravings prompting you to smoke, the autopilot in your head has been programmed with ingrained smoking habits that are activated by triggers. It could be specific times, a certain food, maybe a drink, or when you change your mood. Maybe it's people or situations, or when you're in a particular place. Changing habits requires a two-pronged approach. First, if possible, avoid the triggers. If you always feel compelled to smoke when you go to the pub, don't go to the pub. Stay away.
Stay away?
No, it's not forever. Don't panic. Just the first couple of weeks. When triggers cannot be avoided because they are part of your daily routine, you need the second approach. Reprogram the autopilot. Reprogramming involves analysing your habits by looking at what you actually do, how you move, how you behave, your physical actions and your speech. Examine the way you do things and the sequence you follow. Then change it. Reprogram. Examples. These are not necessarily what happens to you. They're just examples to help explain the method. A trigger can be first thing in the morning when you wake up. It switches on a typical autopilot program. You get out of bed, go to the bathroom, walk to the kitchen, make a hot drink, sit down with a cup and a cigarette. So, how to reprogram? Get washed and dressed first. Change the sequence. In the kitchen, plug the kettle in another socket. Move tea bags, coffee jar and cups to another shelf. Sit somewhere else. Eat breakfast so both hands are occupied. Do enough to confuse the brain so that it's open to beginning the input of the new autopilot smoke-free program. A trigger could be after a meal. Change your usual seat. When you finish the food, instead of sitting back and lighting up, immediately stand up. Take the dishes to the kitchen and go and occupy yourself for a few minutes. That's when the cravings are usually at their worst. Just do anything to distract your head and your hands. Make the bed, paint a wall, read something, vacuum, Sudoku, gardening, check the car, play a game, anything. In fact, this is a good tip for any time you get a sudden urge to smoke. Find something distracting to do with your head and your hands. Crowd out thoughts of smoking. If you're using NRT combination therapy, take the secondary product, then go and immerse yourself in an activity. A trigger could be a work break, especially if you're working inside. So don't go outside. Stay in and chat with other non-smokers. Or if you do go out, stand in another place. Perhaps use an e-cigarette or an inhalator. Incidentally, go outside for a fresh air break instead of a carbon monoxide break and notice the contrast. A trigger can be socialising with friends, so ask them for their support. Definitely use your medication, hold your drink in the other hand, or keep sober altogether. Stay with the non-smokers and the ex-smokers. Boredom can often be a trigger. Now you have quit, here's a chance to improve yourself. Find a brand new interest. You'll be so busy with your new upgraded life, there won't be time to even think about smoking. Driving the car can be a trigger, so clean it inside and out. Don't have cigarettes in the car, have a plastic box full of salad, fruit and veg instead. Munch on a carrot or an apple. Don't drive your usual route, switch to another one. If finishing a task is a trigger, then substitute your usual reward cigarette with something else, something you would really like. It might be food or drink. What are your personal triggers and programmed habits? Observe yourself over the next few days to spot them all. With each habit, ask yourself the question, can the trigger be avoided? If it can't, how can the autopilot be reprogrammed? Which actions and sequences can be adjusted and changed so the new habit is different to the old one? One more example. If every time the phone rings, it's a trigger to light up, Swap the phone to the other hand. Put a drink in the old phone hand. This then becomes your new not smoking habit. The greater the change, the better. But it doesn't have to be massive. Just some tweaks and alterations like moving tea bags in the kitchen. It's enough to retrain yourself so the autopilot begins replacing the old smoking habit with the new not smoking habit. Please don't think I'm insulting your intelligence here by suggesting just moving tea bags stops you smoking. Of course not. It's just one small but important part of the big picture to help establish new patterns. Fortunately, developing new habits does not take a long time. Psychologists tell us it's a shift of balance that happens naturally for all quitters over a month. At the moment, you have a very high smoking habit and a very low not smoking habit. During the 4 weeks after quitting, the balance gradually shifts until your old smoking habits are very low and your new not smoking habits are high. This process can be made a whole lot easier by doing what we've talked about here, avoiding triggers or making changes to reprogram the autopilot. Let me prove to you that habits can be changed quickly. Clasp your hands together.
What?
Oh, come on, give me a break. I'm trying to teach you something here. Please, do it. Clasp your hands together.
Done.
Thank you. Notice which thumb is on top. In a moment, we're going to pull the hands apart, then clasp again, this time with the other thumb on top and the fingers interlaced beneath. Okay, hands apart. Now reclasp the other way. It feels awkward. Do it again a few times, about 10. Every time it feels a little less awkward. If you did that 3 times a day, after 1 month the new way of clasping hands would seem normal. So it is with your autopilot. Not smoking becomes normal. Working on making changes is definitely worth the effort. 4 weeks from now, your smoking habits could be gone.
You haven't talked about stress. That's a huge trigger for a lot of us smokers.
You might not like what I have to say.
Just tell us.
Okay, I'll add an extra section in here about stress. Many people smoke to relieve stress, but a lot of the relief comes from satisfying the nicotine receptors. It feels like you have been relaxed, when what has actually happened is you have fed your drug habit. A chemical called dopamine is released into the brain and does have a calming effect. The trouble is, the effect only lasts a short time. The dopamine levels drop, then your stress levels rise again. So you smoke again. Dopamine up, stress down. Dopamine crashes, stress up. Smoke. Dopamine up, stress down. Dopamine crash, smoke. Dopamine up, stress down. Dopamine crashes, smoke. This yo-yo effect carries on and messes you up. Also, an association develops. After you've been smoking in a stress state, the dopamine hit stays lodged in your memory. So a cigarette in your hand is linked to the nice hit. You blank out the horrible bit. You'll be much better off going outside and putting another object in your hand. A stone will do it, and then breathing in loads of fresh air through your nose. Holding it for a few seconds and letting go of the tension as you slowly breathe out through your mouth. Repeating this process will relax you without having that crazy up and down yo-yo effect. Do this often. Daily would be good, whether you're stressed or not, and eventually just holding the stone will bring on relaxing breathing and calmness.
You're going a bit weird again on us, Steve. We understand that breathing will help calm us down, but holding a stone? I bet you're going to say it works.
Yep, it works. The technical scientific justification is additional neural pathways are being constructed within your brain's prefrontal cortex. In English, you form a new association. Look, a cigarette is not a magician's wand. The thing making you stressed does not go away when you light up. In fact, your fast heart rate and panicky breathing are made worse when you smoke. It's difficult to believe that stopping smoking will decrease your stress, but it really does. You're better equipped to deal with stress as a non-smoker. 60 million people in the UK have all sorts of pressures and stress, some similar to you, but they don't feel the need to smoke. Most ex-smokers have come to realise that their smoking was of no help at all. If you have severe stress, talk to your doctor. If you want to help yourself, here are some ideas. Identify the causes of your stress and think through options to get rid of them, or at least weaken their influence. I know, sometimes it's impossible. Or is it? You may have to take drastic action. Giving up tobacco does give you extra confidence and energy. It might be just the thing to push you into doing what needs to be done and resolving your stress issues. For instant relief, use a natural treatment called Rescue Remedy. More ideas that help millions reduce stress: yoga, music, Pilates, mindfulness, hypnotherapy, exercise, Reiki, positive thinking, dancing, walking, religion, running, meditation, laughing, relaxation techniques, counselling, Tai Chi and reflexology. Check them all out. One could turn your life around. We all live in stressful times, but cigarettes are not the answer. Follow the advice, quit smoking, and very soon you will be much calmer and more able to deal with the problems. Now we are ready. You have methods to deal with psychology, nicotine addiction, and habits. In part 4, we will bring it all together and set you off on a new life free of tobacco.